Hi everyone, I'm back after a long time with a book, and this time I have a book which is being discussed by everybody. Um, it is Mother Mary Comes to Me, written by Arundhati Roy. Okay, let me take out the dust jacket. Yeah, Mother Mary Comes to Me, written by Arundhati Roy. So, this book is being universally praised. I have a problem with books that are universally praised and lauded and talked about. It's my own problem, okay? It's that, I feel that I'm surely going to be disappointed if I read this book, so I do not want to read these kind of books. And I'm sure I've missed out on a lot of good books, but that's the strange workings of my mind. Um, so I was going into that kind of zone, but I had already pre-booked this book at a lovely bookshop in Goa called the Dog Ears Bookshop. So I went there, I picked up the book, and I started reading it, and I loved it. Basically, this is a memoir of Arundhati Roy. She writes about her mother, but she also writes about herself, and she writes about how she became the woman that she is today. Everybody should read this, but I somehow feel that every woman should be reading it. This breaks a lot of stereotypes, and I feel that Arundhati Roy is just living her life. She's not making a statement, and she's not trying to be a rebel, or she's not trying to make a change in society. She's just speaking up for what she strongly believes in. So, like I said, this is a memoir. This is a memoir of Arundhati Roy, the writer, the activist, the dreamer. We see her as a child, a girl, and a woman, and how difficult it was for her. And I really loved the way I could get a peek into her mindset. I'm fascinated by what makes people take certain decisions in life, um, at certain junctures, at certain points of their life, they take these decisions which completely set their life on a separate track. And here, through this book, I could see what made Roy take certain decisions that brought her to where she is. And she does not try to whitewash her actions, or she does not try to show herself as a martyr. She shows herself as a person who is trying to survive, a person who is trying to survive and act according to her own internal compass. Mm, there are a lot of difficult situations in her life. She goes to Delhi to study. She was in Kerala. Even before that, her parents separated, and her mother brought the children to Kerala, where they started living. It was difficult. I'm not going to tell you the details because I think you should read and find out, because that is what a memoir is, right? All those little details which you should be surprised by, which you should be knowing only when you're reading it, and not when somebody like me, a reviewer, tells you all about it. I'm trying to make my reviews shorter and shorter so that I do not you know let out all the plot points. This is exactly, I mean, this book also has a lot of plot points which I will not be talking about. So again, let me come back to what I felt after reading it. And like I said, I feel that every woman should read it, because another reason is because there is this centuries old concept of the mother as a martyr, of the mother as a self-sacrificing poor soul who needs a lot of sympathy from everybody. And society forgets that a woman, mother, is also a woman, an individual who has her own flaws, her own complexities, and her own problems. So here in this book, in Mother Mary Comes to Me, we see a mother who is very flawed, who is difficult, and yet she is a mother. As children, they are puzzled by her, but they love her. Children love their parents. And then they start, internalizing a lot of messages which parents give out to them. So Arundhati Roy and her brother, they have all these feelings of love, of detachment, of dislike, of sympathy, and ultimately of deep compassion. So I feel that it is a very raw portrayal of her life, and she has, She has been extremely brave, I feel, to open her mind to all of us so that we see what makes her tick. And also, in a world of binaries, where we feel that if somebody disagrees with us, or somebody has a very different opinion of us, we should not like them, or we should hate them, and we should keep them away. But in this book, we find that sometimes it's not possible. So what do you do? Uh, I found that very interesting, and I find that this binary is very, very difficult. This whole concept of with me or against me is very, very difficult. We can be disagreeing with somebody and still feel deeply empathetic towards them. So that is something that I found in this book. That is something that really, really touched me when I read this book. I have always been amazed by Arundhati Roy's courage. And yet, at the same time, I find that there is a kind of softness to her activism. She's very vocal uh, about her thoughts on many very important issues, and but there is a softness. And after reading this book, I realized that her strength comes from a place of vulnerability, where she feels the need to stand up for people. And that is why there is a softness to her strength. This is purely my opinion. This is what I feel. But, it was like very revelatory for me. I could understand a lot of things which had puzzled me about this woman who I admire. I admire a lot because it is not easy to be an activist in today's world. And she has been very consistent about taking a stand, about talking about issues which she feels needs to be talked about. And this book gives you a look at the kind of issues that she has stood for and why she has taken those decisions. And that, again, I'm telling you, that is one reason why I loved it. Because I could see the way a person's mind works, and I'm so fascinated. Like, I'm repeating myself, but I'm so fascinated by that. And again, when it comes to Mary Roy, the person in the title, she is also a very flawed individual, a person who is very complex, but who has been shaped by the events of her life, by the people in her life. Very abusive people in her life, and the form of escape she chose is marriage just lands her in the life of another abusive man. So all these things have affected her, and I think Arundhati Roy has tried to portray her from a place of compassion rather than a place of criticism. So I think it is very necessary that we try to be compassionate to people and try to understand where all this is coming from, and that will definitely make this a better world. So I believe that Mother Mary Comes to Me is a book which you should read. Whether you agree with Arundhati Roy, whether you disagree with her, whether you like her, whether you dislike her, this is a book that will give you, you know, a lot of things to think about her life and also our lives. This is a book which will make you think, which will make you stop and think about your life and the decisions that you take, and why we are the people that we are. So that is Mother Mary Comes to Me. I don't know why I keep wanting to say God of Small Things. No, this is Mother Mary Comes to Me, a deeply raw, intense, emotional, very well written and witty memoir of Arundhati Roy. No, this is not of Mary Roy. This is Arundhati Roy's memoir, and it is about her. And we do get glimpses of Mary Roy, but it is all Arundhati, and I loved it. So I hope you guys will go and pick it up and read it. Read it if you want to read a good book. Read it if you want to read a book that is well written. And read it just to make yourself think, just to disrupt that thought process in our mind, that rut that we've fallen into. Yeah, pick this up and start thinking. So, you guys stay safe, take care. Until we meet again, keep reading. Bye bye.